For the Tek-CARE570 system, repeaters are placed temporarily with the presumption of needing one approximately every 40 meters. After testing has been completed, the repeaters will be permanently mounted. When alarms are placed on the system, events are displayed on the NC475 monitor indicating the type of call, the associated resident, and the location of the device. In the case of wearable pendants, the system will display the location of the repeater which received the initial signal from the pendant. The Tek-CARE570 system's wireless network is comprised of one receiver and some number of repeaters. The NC570 receiver will be directly connected to an NC475 Tek-CARE appliance server. The operational logic of the NC571 repeaters requires some discussion. First, it's important to understand that these repeaters are set up either to collect information from individual transmitters and pass that information along to another repeater or directly to the receiver. These are known as open repeaters. Or they are set up to collect information from another repeater only and pass that information along to additional repeaters or the receiver. These are known as closed repeaters. All NC571s will ship as open repeaters. To close a repeater, the housing must be opened and jumper JP15 must be removed. When planning NC571 placement, remember that repeaters should be placed approximately 40 meters apart. Those set as open will collect signals from transmitters, while those set as closed will only collect data from other repeaters and retransmit that data to another repeater or directly to the receiver. All data transmissions must reach the NC570 receiver within 3 hops. Hops are defined as transmissions from a repeater, not the original transmission from the devices to the open repeater. Once positioning of the repeaters is determined, these devices must be programmed to work together. The settings for the receiver are in the configuration running on the appliance server and edited in the system configuration. Repeaters, however, must be programmed with the following information: network ID, channel, target address, data rate, and the repeater ID. The NC470 receiver will get its programming information from the NC475 appliance server every time it comes online, while the settings for the NC571 repeaters are held locally. In order to program NC571 repeaters, please watch this video.
Today we are going to be demonstrating how to set up a Tek-CARE570 NC571 repeater. The technician already should have their list of settings in hand that they will be using to set the repeater to. Here is a list of our settings for the NC571 repeater. The network ID is 3. Our channel is 05. Target address is 48. Our data rate is 1. And we are setting our repeater ID to 5. In order to apply these settings, we turn the dial and press the TSW switch. Once in setup mode, you will have 60 seconds to initiate the first setting before the repeater times out. There is an additional 60-second timeout for each setting. After the last setting, you will have 5 seconds to select the repeater ID and complete programming. Again, the technician will have these numbers prior to setting up the repeater. As you can see, this is where we set the numerical values. We will go through the process of setting up the repeater based on our current settings. First, we are going to hold down the TSW switch until you hear a series of small beeps. The TX-RX light will turn solid on the front. That means it's in program mode. Then we are going to go through our sequence that we had previously noted. Turn the dial to 3. Press TSW. Then we are going to turn to 0. Press. And 5. Press. And 4. Press. And 8. Press. And 1. Press. Then select 5, but do not press TSW. It was a series of beeps and one-tone beep that indicates the unit has been set, and our status light should be blinking. Now, we will demonstrate what will happen if the programming is done incorrectly. Press and hold down the TSW switch. As you can see, the light is solid. And then we will just select a random selection of numbers. Select 2, press, and 1, press, and 5, press, and 1 again, press. Select 2, press, and 1, press, and 5, without pressing. On the front, we see the status light is green, but the TX-RX light is flashing an orange color, which indicates that it was not set up properly. If you have any questions or issues setting up the NC571 repeater, please contact technical support at 1-800-327-8466.
The NC475 appliance server and the NC570 receiver must be online with the correct configuration before individual NC571 repeaters are programmed. Once programmed, the NC571 should be placed in the intended locations. When all repeaters are in place, use a test pendant to verify the signal strength and coverage area. RSSI values may be viewed in the LS454 config tool live and should be 100 dB or greater. If RSSI values are less than the minimum 100 dB, repeaters can be relocated and/or retargeted to achieve adequate signal strength, but it may be necessary to add additional NC571s.